You may not know, but a lot of the music you listen to is possibly owned by an investment fund. I'm joined by Dean Cook. He is not only a fund manager on the multi-asset team, he is also an avid music fan, as you can see from the guitars in the background. We're going to talk about music royalties. And what's really interesting is, under the surface, investment funds are buying up more and more of these. Dean, can we start off with why has the investment industry become so interested in investing in music royalties?
Thanks, Shane. I guess before we get on to that point, let's start with how and why music became something investors are interested in. Before streaming, I'm sure you remember, we'd buy CDs, cassettes, vinyls and the like, and those all just involved a one-time purchase, and that was it. These days, if you like a song, you stream it, and every time you do, it generates a regular revenue stream that can last years and years.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. But I mean, what's quite incredible is just the magnitude of investment that's gone into this. I mean, can you give us some idea as to how much investment has come from investment funds behind this?
Sure, yeah. Today, many of the world's biggest artists' royalty streams are owned by investment funds. And Blackstone, who are a very large private equity firm and run lots of different funds, own some or all of the rights to back catalogues of classic artists like Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Neil Young, Leonard Cohen, Paul McCartney, as well as more contemporary acts like 50 Cent and Justin Timberlake.
Wow. Okay. Lots of big names there. I mean, what is it that is making this so attractive to these investment funds?
I guess there are three main factors to highlight there. The first is the income stream that comes from royalties, as I mentioned, quite regular and very useful when bond yields and cash rates were near to zero. It's a stable and resilient investment, and people, generally speaking, will still listen to music in a recession. The cost of your monthly subscription to a music streaming provider is probably not sufficient that you'd switch it off if we're in a recession. And the third is the potential for growth for the owners of these royalty streams. So better technology is making it easier to collect royalties, so higher revenues. The second, social media, really. I guess in 2018, YouTube had paid $2 billion to music rights holders. By 2022, that was estimated at $6 billion. And you can imagine all the different social media platforms that people use. Each one of those offers a new and interesting revenue and stream opportunity for the owners of the rights. And the third one, I guess, is what might be a bit less obvious, is maybe taking an artist's brand into other markets. Think West End musicals, think collaborating with a clothing brand, think movies potentially.
Wow, yeah, I think that point number 3 is so interesting, is that growth potential. And I mean, when I first started looking into this, I kind of naively thought that the main revenue stream would simply be from playing the original of the track that was owned. And one of the other like revenue streams is obviously the covers and how the original song can be covered by different artists. I mean, one example of this, which absolutely blew my mind. So Blackstone, who you mentioned earlier, owned the rights to the Leonard Cohen song Hallelujah, which many will know. When I started reading about this, it said that actually the covers of Hallelujah were more popular and more lucrative. And I initially thought, well, it must be the Jeff Buckley cover. But actually, there's a cover by a US a cappella group called Pentatonics. And their cover absolutely dwarfs the amount of views and listens from the former two, from Cohen and Buckley, which blew my mind. I'm going to include a link to the cover. It is really good. In my mind, it's probably not as good as the original or Jeff Buckley's, but it is pretty impressive. And the amount of revenue that Blackstone generate from just that one song is apparently over 10% of one of their largest funds, which is absolutely incredible to me. Dean, I mean, you've outlined some really clear reasons why it's an attractive asset class, some of the growth prospects. But actually what's getting the headlines in recent weeks, and the reason why we're talking about it, is that some of these fund valuations have been going down. And if anything, as an asset class, this hasn't been a great performer. Why is that the case?
Yeah, so I guess the challenge, Shane, is that these song royalties were seen as quite valuable income streams when bond yields and cash rates were very low or zero. When you can't get income anywhere else, this seems like quite a great place to invest. So fast forward to today, where interest rates are close to 4 to 5%, and all of a sudden they're not quite so attractive, and you can get similar, if not higher income at a lower level of risk. And as a result, a number of the publicly traded funds, as you mentioned, their shares are down this year. That means that those vehicles can't raise additional cash at current share prices. And so it's likely we might start to see some of them look to sell assets to improve the valuations.
Okay. And really quickly, would that give you an opportunity to buy?
Well, we always try to keep an open mind, consider all types of investments for our multi-asset funds, even in those in sort of newer markets for investors. At present, we see attractive opportunities elsewhere, but we continue to keep an eye.
Okay, very good, very good. Dean, I know I did say to you, I asked you before we started recording, if you would take the guitar off the wall and play us out with a track. You politely declined. But I think if we get enough people, enough viewers who are interested in seeing Dean play guitar, sing a song, he will do it in a future episode. And perhaps he will sell on those music royalties and make lots of money from an investment fund. Who knows? Anyway, we will be back next week. We'll put a fund manager on the spot. We'll talk about the one topic that's caught our eye. Until then, take care.